In Warhammer 3, we deploy defensive equipment in minor settlement battles in only the predetermined locations. Yet in 2019's Total War 3 Kingdoms, you can deploy these defenses wherever you like on the map. It's literally a drag and drop situation. To me, it feels like minor settlement battles in Total War are devolving rather than evolving, and that's a concern. But honestly, that's a smaller concern than the bigger picture of what's happening on the campaign map. I think the biggest problem here is something that is driving a lot of players away from the game right now and is partially why player counts are down. First of all though, let me be clear. I'm glad minor settlement battles are in Total War Warhammer now. Good stuff, well done CA, awesome. It gives us a new type of battle to play to mix the game up a bit. I'm not a huge fan of the supply system and the instantly pop-upable defenses, but for the most part I'm glad they're in the game. So I do like minor settlement battles. My issue, however, is the frequency at which I have to play them. I currently am forced to play too many minor settlement battles, and I get bored. Let's look at some numbers. Here's a Scarbrand campaign where I've been ignoring the Chaos Realms and just mashing people up for the fun of it. So I haven't gone into the Chaos Realms at all, haven't bothered getting any souls, just been smashing people up. And here's my battle statistics on the types of battles that I've played. As you can see, I played 23 land battles, 2 ambush battles, so we'll call that 25 land battles I've played. Compare that to the 73 settlement battles I've played, 54 minor settlements and 19 sieges. This ratio is very, very off to me. That makes it roughly 25% land battles and 75% settlement battles I'm playing, with about 50% of those being minor settlements alone. Maybe you're thinking that was just a one-off, so here's another similar campaign where I've just been playing and smashing people up, not been doing the realms. Kislev campaign, not quite as far in, so not as many battles overall, but you can see I've had 12 land battles and 40 settlement battles already. So again, it's a ratio of roughly 25% to 75% again. For me, somebody who loves land battles, this is really killing the game. And just for comparison, here's a campaign where I have been doing the souls. I've got all 4 souls, I've already done the realm, I'm just messing around getting some achievements on this campaign. But at this point, I've fought all the battles I'm going to fight, and this may make it look like the numbers are a little more even here. I've got 27 land battles and 33 settlement battles, so the numbers are much closer, right? It's nearly 50-50 on land battles to settlement battles, but here we have to remember that I've been into the Chaos Realms, where I'm forced to fight a bunch of land battles that are mostly the same thing every time. In the Nurgle Realm, you're forced. In the Khorne Realm, you're forced. In Tzeentch and Slaanesh Realm, you might be able to avoid them. But ultimately, if we discount the Chaos Realms land battles, then it's probably going to be the same ratio as those other 2 campaigns I showed you. What about comparing to Warhammer 2? Here's a finished Golden Order campaign, with the battle statistics very much going the other way. I've got a combined of 60 land battles, with ambush battles included, but we have to remember that minor settlement battles here are actually a lot of land battles as well, because we didn't have minor settlements in Warhammer 2. Although one grey area with these stats is that minor settlements can be upgraded to have walls, and I don't know if the game counts those walled battles, which are actually just sieges. I don't know whether it counts them as sieges or as minor settlement battles. I'm going to assume as minor settlement battles because there are so many, but it's hard to be sure. Either way, it seems like the ratio is maybe the other way, 75% land battles with 25% settlement battles, whether that's sieges or walled minor settlements. Now, I do understand that there is a fair amount of people that do prefer how Warhammer 3 is, having way more minor settlement battles than land battles. They didn't like Warhammer 2 having so many land battles. But I did put out a poll about a month ago which gathered 20k votes, asking people if they felt that there was too many minor settlement battles in campaign. 70% of the people felt the same as me, that there are too many, but a fairly substantial 27% felt that the game was fine as it is, with the other 3% just being drunk, I think. So it's not an overwhelming majority that is in the same boat as me, but it is the majority. I think the problem here is that in Warhammer 2 the ratio was too far one way, in Warhammer 3 the ratio is too far the other way. It needs to be somewhere in the middle. Maybe they could try to make it so it's 50-50. 50% land battles, 50% settlement battles. Perhaps that would feel way better. Not including the Chaos Realms battles, of course. But we're not going to have those in Mortal Empires, so we'll have to see how that is. But before we talk about some solutions to this problem, let's maybe look at minor settlement battles in the actual battle itself. As I showed earlier, the supply system and the way we deploy things is just kind of weird and not that great. We have the little predetermined positions where we can put stuff down, but it's kind of random. Why can I not put a barricade here in this big open space? Why does this little spot have to be always open? It doesn't make sense. Why can I not just defend up this whole place? This happens all over the place, where you can just put a barricade on one side. Okay, you can funnel the troops into one particular direction. I guess that's the idea. And maybe this would work if these barricades couldn't be destroyed in 20 seconds by even a unit of Noblars. These barricades don't really do anything, they're kind of pointless. And we get that whole kind of arcadey tower defense feel where we can just pop structures out of thin air. It's just kind of dumb and like, is this Fortnite? What are we playing here? Why are we just making structures from nothing? Is there really a lot of people that really like this? Like, I don't hate it. It doesn't ruin the minor settlement battle for me, but I do hope we don't see it in any future Total War games. Now, before you leave a comment saying, oh, these Total War players who moan about not having minor settlements and then when they get them, they're still moaning. Well, you kind of have to understand the frustration of people who have played previous versions of Total War, which were kind of superior in these ways. For example, in Rome 2, I'm attacking a minor settlement here, but it's a land battle. But guess what? Later down the line in Rome 2, when these settlements get upgraded, some of them will turn into minor settlement battles, just like we now have in Total War Warhammer, but without the pop-up towers. You also had the big walled settlement sieges as well, so you got a nice mixture of different kinds of battles throughout your campaign. You had naval battles as well, so there was all sorts of different experiences as you pressed through a campaign. Now in Warhammer 3, as we know, we have the predetermined locations for towers and barricades, that's all we get. But did you know that in Rome 2 we had the same system before the battle? You could deploy your defensive equipment, but you could put it wherever the hell you wanted. You could literally just draw it onto the map. What was wrong with this? Why did it ever leave a Total War game? It offered you way more freedom to create little strategic positions as you so wished. Which is why I say it kind of feels like Total War minor settlement battles have devolved rather than evolved. Tell me how the system of predetermined locations to put towers and barricades is better than total freedom to put them wherever the hell you wish. And this is nearly 10 years ago, in Rome 2. Where you also, by the way, had a whole bunch of different kinds of deployables. Some better against infantry, some better against cavalry. Imagine the kind of stuff you could make for Warhammer. Tell me how popping up a random tower in the middle of a battle is more fun than rolling some fiery balls down a hill into some cav that probably should move, but they're going to stay there nonetheless so we can have some fun and make use of our good old fireballs. And it's not like they've forgotten about this system. As I showed earlier, in Three Kingdoms it works the same as Rome 2. You can literally take it, drag it, to put it wherever you want. Use your brain and think up some way to tactically use these things and take advantage of them. Maybe they think we're too dumb now or something to figure out where a barricade should go, I don't know, but it's kind of baffling to me, that's all. I just don't know how anyone thinks that this pop-up tower thing is more fun than this. Making your own traps that will best complement the troops in the army that you have available. So it's hard to see something that you used to really enjoy and that used to be great kind of go backwards and not be as good as it once was. Minor settlements now, they look incredible as we can see, but the gameplay of them inside is still a little bit not quite there. A lot of maps are still super choke pointy, and that's okay for some maps, but we don't want it on too many, and it seems like there could just be some more open space in these settlements. Like here, we've got the main entrance into the settlement, which is a choke point. Okay, we have to push through that, but then we're met by more choke points, so why not just remove all this crappy rubble in the middle here and just give us a big open space to have almost like a mini land battle in. Of course, they're going to clog it up and try to stop us getting through, but it'd be better if there was just a bit more room to maneuver. And there are some maps that are kind of like this, with a bit more space to move around and actually maneuver on each other. But these kind of settlements where it's just a lot of long, thin, narrow alleyways, which you have to kind of just choke point fight your way down, it gets a little tedious, especially for those factions that aren't that good at pushing in and being aggressive, like Cathay or Tzeentch. They need to use missiles, but if there's no line of sight from anywhere, it's really difficult to be able to push in with these factions. Where someone like Khorne has no problem mashing his way through choke points because he's got some of the strongest fighting infantry up front. But this map is one of the better ones. It has a lot more open space, as you can see. I can maneuver my units when I get in there. I'm not just constantly pinned into that single little choke point forever. We can move around and actually maneuver the army. These kind of minor settlements are the best kind, in my personal opinion. So for me, I'd love to see the back of the supply system and this popping up towers and walls wherever you like. I'd personally prefer it if they are just deployed before the battle, like in Rome 2 or in Three Kingdoms, and then that's where they are for the remainder of the battle. And also that you can put them freely wherever you wish. Let me draw it onto the map myself, rather than giving me the predetermined locations. I don't honestly think this will change for Warhammer 3, but hopefully we won't see it in any future Total Wars at least. As for a solution to fighting too many minor settlements, well, there's a few ways you could go. You can make it like Warhammer 2, where the provincial capital is of course a siege battle, but for your minor settlements, level 1 and 2 could just be land battles, and then when you hit level 3, that's where it turns into an actual minor settlement with the battle map. Or you could make it just like Warhammer 2, where once you build the garrison building at tier 3, it'll turn the minor settlement into a siege map and give it walls. You could do that, but instead of making it a siege map, you just make it a minor settlement map. So those two, I think, are perfectly viable ways to get more land battles back into the campaign, while still maintaining the fair amount of minor settlements for those who really enjoy them. And this system's already basically in Warhammer 3. When you build the garrison building, upgrade it to tier 3, adds walls to the settlement, so it's already there. Just make it so that it turns it into a minor settlement instead of a siege, and that'll probably make a lot of people way happier. But it may make the 27% that like it as it is unhappier. So what do we do about that? Well, this seems like the opportunity and the time for Total War to really evolve by giving us more pre-campaign options to toggle. Just like they've already done in Warhammer 2 with the Chaos Invasion. We're now given the choice to have it on, off, or to even make it way harder. Give us more of these kind of options. You could do this with minor settlements. Turn them on, turn them off, have them at tier 3 only. There could be an option to please everyone. A lot of other strategy games do this, so why not Total War? People love the sandbox element, so let them mess around with it more and get different experiences by changing a bunch of pre-campaign settings. Do you want more money, less money? Do you want unit caps on? Do you want the AI to be more aggressive? There's all sorts of fun options that I'm sure they could employ, and we know they can do it because the modders are already doing it. Total War has such an opportunity to evolve in many ways. I'm hoping we're going to see it with minor settlements especially. Let me know what you think. Hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. See you in the future.